Jesus heals the Roman centurion's paralyzed servant. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about Jewish culture, how the Bible was written. We're going to talk about how Jesus heals somebody who is supposed to be considered the enemy. And we're also going to talk about the Roman centurion's faith. So let's dive in Matthew chapter 8. It says, "When he entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him asking for help. 'Lord, my servant is lying at home paralyzed in terrible anguish.' Jesus said to him, 'I will come and heal him.' But the centurion replied, 'Lord, I am not worthy to have you come under my roof. Instead, just say the word and my servant will be healed. For I too am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. I say to this one, go, and he goes, and to another, come, and he comes, and to my slave, do this, and he does it.' When Jesus heard this, he was amazed and said to those who followed him, 'I tell you the truth, I have not found such faith in anyone in Israel.'" We love to see the faith of the Roman centurion here. He is a man of example. And yet, some people want to take this story and say that the Bible is not true because of him. Why do people have this claim? It's because this story is found in Matthew and Luke. If you remember, the first four books of the New Testament are called the Gospels. We have four Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The first three books are called the Synoptic Gospels, and they are able to be read very similarly. When we read the story in Matthew chapter 8, we find that Jesus is talking very personally to the Roman centurion. It's almost like they're having a face-to-face conversation, and it's very intimate. But when you see it in Luke chapter 7, it's very different, because nowhere in the story of Luke does Jesus actually talk to the Roman centurion. Luke chapter 7 says that the Roman centurion sent some elders so that Jesus would hear his plea. And even when Jesus was approaching, the centurion sends out some friends so that Jesus wouldn't go under his roof. Some people say that these differences are so great that the Bible is contradicting itself. But there's nothing further from the truth. The truth is that we don't understand culture, and we don't understand first century writing, and we don't have any clue how Jewish audiences or Gentile audiences of the time would read this letter. See, Matthew was written by a Jew for the Jews, and the Jews are all about the facts. That's all they really care about. They don't care about the extra details about how Jesus was talking to elders or friends or anything like that. All they want is the truth, and they want to know what exactly happened. Just the facts, no fluff. I believe that partially comes from the way it was written, because it was written in scrolls and parchment or papyrus, and this was a very expensive way of investing into these writings. And so the authors of the Bible have the tendency to write shortly, no details, and have just the facts and the necessary things in order to get the story straight. Luke is writing to a Gentile audience, and for those of us who do not have a Jewish background, some of those details are very important. I'm sure Luke wanted to accentuate the authority which the Roman soldier had put on Jesus, so that the people who were around him would respect Jesus even more. So much that he goes into the detail that the Roman centurion wasn't even really talking to him face to face. These two versions of the same story just remind us that different people have different ways of expressing the same story. Have you ever been around your friends and everybody's telling the same story, and somebody will maybe go into a lot of detail about something, and then other people are like, "Oh my gosh, just get to the point"? That's exactly what is happening here. That's just the difference between personalities, audiences, and the way of telling stories. So culture has a lot to do with it. And speaking about culture, why would Jesus heal a Roman centurion's paralyzed servant? Isn't that the enemy? Weren't the Jews being oppressed by Romans? I mean, isn't this something that goes against the nature of why Jesus came? Not exactly. Salvation comes to all people. As a matter of fact, if we keep on reading in Matthew, we see what it says. "I tell you, many will come from the east and the west to share the banquet with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the sons of the kingdom will be thrown out into outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth." Jesus uses this opportunity to let us know what's going to happen in the future, that the Israelites would harden their heart, that they would no longer be the chosen people to have salvation exclusively for themselves, but that everybody from east to west would be able to attain that salvation, and that salvation comes only through faith. This is great news for us as Gentiles. This is great news for us who were not born in Israel, that maybe we were born in Mexico or the United States or somewhere else. It lets us know that it doesn't matter where you were born or who your family was, it's about faith. This is also bad news for the Christians because sometimes, as people who go to church and people who sing the songs and read the Bible, as Americans, sometimes we think that because we were born in America and because we have a Christian family, that makes us saved. That's not the truth, though. Just because you said one prayer one time does not mean that you're saved. Salvation comes through faith in Jesus Christ. And to have the humility, like this Roman soldier, to accept that no amount of resources, no amount of religion, no amount of money could save you. As a Roman centurion, this man had a lot of power. He had a lot of resources, so many things at his disposal. As a matter of fact, he had 80 to 100 soldiers that would obey his every command. He says it right there. If I tell somebody to go, he goes. And yet, even with all these resources and all this power, he came to the realization that the paralysis that his servant was in could only be cured by Jesus, that it could only be cured by a higher power. Therefore, his power, his authority is nothing. What he does, his works, could not save him. His name, his Centurion title, could not give him anything. It's only through faith in Jesus Christ that this man was saved. So today you might be in one of two camps. You might be in the religious camp, which thinks that because of your religious actions, that going to church, singing the songs, giving the tithes, and reading the Bible, that might help you and that might bring you to salvation. Or you might be on the other side with the Roman centurion, which authority and power and sometimes having more money and resources, that might be your salvation. But the truth is, there's only one salvation, and it's found in Jesus Christ. So wherever you may be, whether it's on the east side, or west side, wherever it is, you need to come to Christ. And you need to put your faith in him, and your actions have to match what you say. So if you're having trouble finding your faith, look back at all the miracles that Jesus has done, and make sure to follow us to see even more miracles coming up.